Good evening. So great to have you here. I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Chris Thomas. We do have a lot to cover tonight. Thanks for joining us. We want to start tonight with developing news after the U.S. military captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
He and his wife appeared in federal court today and pleaded not guilty to 4 felony drug and weapons charges. U.S. forces raided Venezuela's capital Caracas Saturday, detaining Maduro and flying him to New York. Federal prosecutors are accusing Maduro and his co-defendants of working with drug traffickers in Colombia and Mexico to move tons of cocaine into the U.S. over the past 25 years. The charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. His next court date is set for March 17th.
USA, stay in your lane! No more ships, no planes. USA, stay in your lane.
The scene outside the courthouse mirrors demonstrations across the country and the world, conflicting reactions to U.S. military action. Many in the Venezuelan community celebrate Maduro's fall, saying Venezuela is now free from authoritarian rule. Others oppose U.S. intervention in foreign affairs, saying they believe this is a war for oil. Both groups clashing outside of Maduro's hearing, with New York police between them. Major questions today about what role the U.S. could play in governing Venezuela. President Trump says the U.S. is in charge of the country and its oil.
And yet tensions are rising on Capitol Hill as Congress says they were not briefed on the operation, but the Trump administration says approval wasn't necessary as this was not an act of war.
There is no war against Venezuela or its people. We are not occupying a country. This was a law enforcement operation.
This as the Venezuelan vice president is sworn in as interim leader of the country. She says she's open to cooperating with the U.S., but Maduro's son today addressed Venezuela's National Assembly and called his father's capture a kidnapping. U.S. officials say they're working to establish an interim government prioritizing administrative stability and repairing oil infrastructure. Meanwhile, some countries condemned the operation, including Colombia and Mexico. The United Nations Security Council called an emergency meeting today to discuss the military action. The UN Secretary General says he's, quote, deeply concerned that rules of international law have not been respected. Legal analysts say that will likely be the basis for Maduro's defense. And now we do want to turn to the local impacts of this capture and his first court appearance today. ABC10's Nazi Javid is getting local reaction.
Yeah, for many Venezuelans living in the Sacramento area, this is not just international news, it's personal. And tonight I speak with someone personally affected, and I take community concerns to a former FBI operative who sheds light on the local impact. For many Venezuelans in the Sacramento area, news of Nicolas Maduro's arrest is being felt far from the courtroom and close to families still in Venezuela.
These past few days have been a little bit hard. It's just a mix of emotions. There's hope, there's fear, there's anxiety.
Armando Alonso left Venezuela in 2016. Most of his family is still there.
Still worrying for my family, worrying for everyone in Venezuela, because no matter how long you've been gone, the fear doesn't go away.
When the news broke, Alonso says his first call was back home.
I immediately called them because we never know. I felt the fear of my family being in danger. My mom was crying.
He says many people in Venezuela are not seeing developments on state TV, turning to social media for information.
People afraid of going out and afraid of go out and celebrate of what's happening here. The television news and the press, they've been censored for years, and you don't see what's happening.
To put this all into context, I spoke with former FBI counterintelligence operative Eric O'Neill, an expert in this area.
You will see very few protests against Nicolas Maduro or the regime. The reason is that Nicolas Maduro's lieutenant, the vice president, is now in power. She is very much his creature, and they have been incredibly repressive and brutal to anyone who protested the regime in the past. So I think what's going to happen is in Venezuela, people will be very quiet.
He advises on what people here should do next.
For those Venezuelans in Sacramento and elsewhere, you should be speaking to your families, tell them what's really going on, work with them to help them understand that a lot of what they're hearing within Venezuela is probably propaganda and not truth.
For Alonso, this moment centers around security.
We hope that at the end of everything, there will be finally freedom, and we'll be able to return to a country where we can live and have the same opportunities as everyone in the world deserves.
Meanwhile, O'Neill says the operation also appears to have included a cyber component, temporarily disrupting power and communications in Venezuela, a move he says signals how modern conflicts are increasingly fought both on the ground and online. Back to you.
Good to know, Nazi. Thank you. Let's turn now to your weather. It's the last day of that weather impact alert we've been tracking. We've been seeing lots of rain, snow, and severe flooding all across our area throughout the weekend. This is a live look at all the snow in the Truckee area. You can see it piled up there on the side of the road. And now we want to show you some video from Palisades Tahoe Ski Resort. They say they received 19 inches of fresh snowfall in 24 hours. They've been able to reopen most of their ski lifts after the weather system during Christmas week. And it looks like a really good time to hit the slopes. But we know it has been some treacherous conditions to get up there. So everyone be safe.
Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods to get an idea when might be a good time to head up the hill.
It's been such small windows to be able to travel up to the high country. We're going to be seeing much bigger pockets of dry weather coming our way. In the meantime, as Chris and Laura were mentioning, Monday today is the last day of this weather impact alert, with the lingering showers still occurring much in the valley. More mountain snow, but that really happened earlier in the day. Extra travel time, we would certainly have been needing that for our Monday. You can see the bulk of the rain hugging the west side of the state and through the Central Valley. So most of the risk of additional flooding came for the northern and central part of the Sacramento Valley. As far as the capital region, still seeing some light showers, so the roadways are still certainly slick. But as we make our way into the high country, 80-50 corridor, it's very spotty snow showers. It's not completely done yet. That will happen overnight tonight. But as we travel south of Highway 50 along 108, 4, 88 and 89, just some spotty snow showers down the hill. It's mostly rain, but again, it's in just isolated pockets. It's not the widespread heavy stuff that we've been tracking for several weeks now. Here's the low pressure system. It's still churning off the coast, so we're not quite done with the moisture yet. That will start to fizzle out as we head into our Tuesday. Our excessive rainfall forecast was certainly favoring the Bay Area northward along the northwest coast, and then again through the central and northern part of the Sacramento Valley. We still have that flood watch out until 10 p.m. along the northwest coast, and we'll continue to monitor rivers as well as the low-lying flooding. Even rock slides and mudslides certainly a possibility through tonight. Our winter weather advisory will expire at 7 p.m. Just a little bit more snow left over. 395 has been quite troublesome north of I-84 today. But again, as you look throughout the region, things are moving much smoother than they were even at about noontime today. Saw some folks walking around at Ski Run there near South Lake Tahoe just a little bit ago. So there's still people up there enjoying what's left of the holiday travel period. Highs for today in the upper 50s, low 60s throughout the valley, 30s for this year, 50s along the coast, and we'll see similar highs coming our way for at least tomorrow before we see some colder air work in. Rain since December 22nd. This really tells the story. We saw almost 12 inches of rain from Forest Hill, nearly 6¼ inches for Elk Grove, Fair Oaks with almost 6 inches of rain, Sacramento over 4, Modesto nearly 4 inches, and Stockton closing in on almost 3 inches of rain. Again, we haven't totaled everything that we got for today. Since December 22nd, snow 80 to almost 150 inches plus coming in for this year, and it was much needed. We hit that really dry stretch there in the beginning of December. Once we got this storm cycle going, though, it really came in with quite a force. As far as our live look outside, we've got the slick roadways out there, so you could see those headlights kind of glistening. We've got a mix of clouds and some pockets of some light showers. Temperatures in the 50s down low for the valley and right about 30 for the Sierra. So again, clouds will start to clear for tonight. We'll see some patchy fog for tomorrow. Winds are also calmer than what they were earlier today as that low pressure system works its way down the coast. Much of the rain leaving with it. By Wednesday, a weak weather system brushes us. We're mainly going to see the showers in the foothills and the Sierra, but then we really start to quiet things down, and that's going to lead us to a much warmer and drier forecast by the middle of January. Some things to look forward to. In the meantime, tomorrow highs will be near 40 for the Sierra, 50s and low 60s throughout the foothills with highs near 60 throughout the Bay Area. As you travel inland throughout the valley, highs are going to be in the upper 50s to right around the lower 60s. A pretty nice day to spend perhaps cleaning up from all the rain. I know we've got a lot of tree branches down and things like that, so could be a good day to get out there and do some cleaning.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the cleanup because I know some of my neighbors have been very anxious to take down their Christmas Christmas decorations,
Right.
especially the outdoor ones that have just gotten soaked and they haven't had the chance to do it. So
Nobody has, I know, or else do it in the rain. Yeah.
Our producer is saying we have a little time, Monica. I was hoping maybe you could put in perspective the amount of rain that we've gotten. It has really helped when it comes to drought conditions and things of that nature.
For sure.
right?
Do you remember last year at this time we were talking about how dangerous it was in Southern California for the fire danger? We are now sitting at almost like 50% of where we should be for the entire year. Many places are well over that.
Wow.
Almost the entire state well above average for where we should be at this point in the season for rainfall.
And what do you think this means for, the vegetation that we're going to be potentially having to deal with when the season gets really dry, right? Now I'm noticing a lot of green out there.
Yes.
The plants are flourishing, but we know when they start to dry out, that can also conversely make some problems for us.
It could certainly. I think the state is trying to get a better handle on clearing some of that excess debris to make sure that there is a fire-safe space, especially in the high country. It's so funny that you mentioned that because I was thinking, oh, these trees must be drinking up all this water. Yeah,
Well, I tell you what, it just goes to show what a good storm can do, huh, Monica?
certainly is. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Want to show you the scene in the Bay Area over the weekend. Heavy rain and king tides combined to cause some serious flooding. This is in Marin County. Look at that. People stood on their driveways knee deep in floodwater. And then I want you to take a look at this. This latest weather system also brought a lot of rain to this area, causing local flooding. The drainage canal in the Thomas had high water levels and some flooding in the Rio Linda this morning. Over the weekend, there was also flooding in Doco and X Street. Officials were forced to close several roads over the weekend, even rescuing a man who attempted to bypass a closure and got stuck.
And with all the heavy rain and snow over the weekend, local creeks and rivers remain under close watch. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has a closer look at what's being done to keep you safe.
After a wet weekend when it comes to waterways across Northern California on Monday,
the floodwaters are coming up.
the McCollum River in the northwest corner of San Joaquin County is expected to reach action stage by Monday night, 5 feet below what's considered a minor flood stage. It's the river that feeds the lagoon behind Jim Hinojosa's Lodi home.
It's pretty normal, yeah. They're letting it out just as normal as it's always been. The runoff has not come down yet.
With his home several feet high and the action stage area several miles downstream, for Jim, it's not the time to be concerned yet.
Once we get the runoff, when it heats up in the mountains, it comes down and they have to release it very quickly or else it'll flood.
Some in Stockton now also don't have to be concerned. To prevent flooding, the San Joaquin Area Flood Control Agency shut the gate of the Smith Canal Monday. Since its opening in 2024, it's the first gate closure due to high tides. In a statement, the county's Office of Emergency Services said that while no immediate impacts are anticipated, they're monitoring and warning that rivers and creeks could rise quickly. There was concern just outside Galton Monday morning.
Just after 3 o'clock this morning, the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department received calls of homeless that were trapped on an island in rising floodwaters off of Dry Creek.
Crews rescued 5 people in total. At least 2 people were treated at the hospital for hypothermia.
I don't think that these people are expecting that to happen as rapidly as it is. Since we've been out here this morning, just after 3:30 in the morning, we've noticed the floodwaters are continuing to rise and continuing to pick up speed.
A morning rescue and daytime prevention, all reminders that after a wet weekend,
Any river bottoms on or near rivers, they're prone to flooding. It's not a place to be during these heavy swaths.
Gabriel, thank you. And the good news is we're told many of the high tides and creek levels in our area are expected to recede by or before Tuesday evening, but there's still some time until then, of course. And along the Smith Canal, the Flood Control Agency expects the gates to be closed for most of the evening tomorrow as well.
Well, coming up, state lawmakers back in session for the new year. A look at the first day back.
It was a busy day for the California legislature. On the first day of the new session, new leadership was sworn in.
ABC10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Huh has a recap of the big day.
The duties which I'm upon to enter. Congratulations.
The ceremonial swearing in of Senate President Pro Tem Monique Limón, signaling a new era of leadership for Democrats.
Things don't just start new or start fresh. They're really building on the work that's been done by the legislature.
Limón joins Governor Gavin Newsom and Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas as some of the most powerful in the California legislature. Her ascension offering hope across the aisle.
Optimistic as Senator Limón will step in and be a strong leader, that we could work bipartisan to solve the gas prices.
We may not agree on everything, but she is somebody that I believe that we can collaborate with.
As affordability remains the bipartisan buzzword despite party differences in approach.
The minority party is focused on affordability.
And affordability is front and center.
Democrats continue pointing to new laws from last session aimed at significantly lowering housing and energy costs, as well as barriers to quicker construction like environmental review regulations.
We talked a lot about affordability, but that's not a one and done. You don't just create a few bills and then it's over.
We're going to continue to do that work until it really improves quality of life.
But criticism from Republicans on how Democrats go about that.
Make sure that we have more production, stop buying oil from foreign countries.
The same for housing.
Just making it faster and it still costs the same, you haven't done anything for affordability.
Limón acknowledging the battle for affordability is tied into the state's $18 billion budget deficit and federal funding cuts like on health care.
Spending big is not something that is within our means at this moment. I think affordability is going to look a lot of different ways in different years, and that's okay.
While agreeing on the need for more oversight in state spending, which Republicans have long pushed for on issues like homelessness.
And to assess whether they're doing what they were expected to do or if they're even sustainable.
That was ABC10's Jenny Huh reporting. And on Thursday, Governor Gavin Newsom is set to give his State of the State address. It will be his first in-person address since 2020. We'll have it live on the free ABC10 streaming app.
Next at 5:30, the suspects charged in the death of a 7-year-old girl in Roseville appeared in court today.
Plus, an update on the search for a hiker in Placer County who went missing on Friday.
Now to an update on a story we first brought you over the weekend. The body of a missing hiker in Placer County has been found. The Placer County Sheriff's Office says dive teams located and recovered the woman from the North Fork of the American River earlier today using drone and aerial support during the search. Deputies say 40-year-old Erin Vanaker was last seen walking on Codfish Falls Trail, outside Colfax with her dog. About 15 minutes later, her dog was seen alone. Her car, phone, and a dog bowl were later found near the river. Officials say they believe she went into the water and was swept away.
We do have continuing coverage tonight on the death of a 7-year-old girl in Roseville back in December. The suspects were in court today. Jessica Savangi and Rediquel Dupree both pled not guilty to murder and child abuse charges. They were arrested and charged after her daughter Adeline was found unresponsive on December 22nd. Both suspects blamed each other in separate interviews with ABC10. Both are being held without bail and are expected back in court on February 24th.
Still ahead, a little something to make you smile. A rescued donkey in Georgia breaking a Guinness World Record.
Coming up new tonight at 6, major changes could be coming to child vaccine guidance in the U.S. Which shots would stay and which recommendations could be scaled back? That's coming up at 6. Why some health experts are sounding the alarm tonight.
Before we go, check it out. A rescued donkey in Georgia is set to be a Guinness World Record holder. Here's the images of that donkey right now. The donkey's name is Hope, and she came from Arkansas. We're told she used to be extremely underweight and depressed, and her new owner took Hope to a vet to get her all checked out, and the doctor noticed her extremely long ears. You see them right there in this video. She's showing them off, hard to miss. The vet measured Hope's ears, and actually it turns out they were nearly 16 inches long, 2 inches longer than the previous record holder. Let's take a closer look here at Hope's ears. Yep, they're measuring it just to make sure to verify the Guinness record here. A dose of cuteness. I think, Chris, we could all use a little something to smile about these days, and a dose of cuteness from a little donkey, little Hope. We love it.
With some big ears, right? One of the few times big ears is a good thing, right?
I think so.
Thanks so very much for joining us, everyone. Remember, you can watch us anytime, any day on your schedule. Just download the free ABC10 Plus streaming app.